Whose idea was this anyway?
You know, our view was that this is one of the great credit businesses in the world, and we've followed them for years, and Howard's obviously a legend in the markets. And so we approached them and talked about it, and from there we ended up with this transaction.
It was your idea then?
I guess you're right.
How long did it take?
It took 5 months. The markets were a little rough in December, so
yes,
that didn't help the transaction. But I'd say in transactions you learn a lot about the other side when you go through rougher periods of time, and that was probably good for the end result we got.
Howard, you have been telling your clients for 17 years already what it would take for Oaktree to be acquired. 17 years. Why now?
Well, not for 17 years, 17 years ago. It hasn't been a constant theme. But, you know, there was a rumor in '02 that we were for sale. And in my year-end report, I published the 5 criteria for a transaction. And I said, they've never been satisfied. I assume they never will, so let's forget about it. Nothing ever happened until this transaction came along.
Now, the criteria you set forth are being satisfied.
Yes.
What about the timing, the now factor?
You know, I'm not a market timer. And this is a fundamentally sound transaction. And we're not, our entering into it at this time has nothing to do with the timing. I mean, Bruce described...
Nobody should impute or infer some sense of where you think we are in the credit cycle, et cetera.
Not at all. Not at all. This is a forever transaction. And, you know, whether it was or wasn't ideally timed, which I don't have a view on, wouldn't matter.
And why Brookfield? Some people wonder why you aren't tying up with another firm in the same industry that might use a little help and credit. Could be a Carlyle, could be a KKR.
Well, number one, there are no other firms with the heft of Brookfield, with their list of offerings, which meshes so well with ours without significant overlap or cannibalization, with the same reputation, the same growth record. You know, it's really, and also the same culture. We think that the culture is very important, and we agree on that.
And at any point recently, or in the 17 years since you wrote that note to clients, did you seriously entertain other offers?
No, we never found anything that satisfied the 5 criteria.
Bruce, you told me in December of 2017 it was unlikely that Brookfield would ever buy another asset manager. What changed?
I guess you always have to eat your words sometimes. But look, I would just say it's not something we've ever really thought of too often. But as our clients get bigger, and the offerings need to be, our offerings need to be larger. The one area that we were lacking to be able to deliver to them is credit. And this business is large enough that it can be delivered to our clients. And many of the other ones, many of the other things we could have looked out there, or even building it ourselves. We've been building it ourselves, but it just takes a long, long time. And given the scale of our business and the relationships that we have, we just needed something larger.
Were you finding yourselves losing mandates because you weren't able to satisfy that demand for credit?
You know, I just say it more positively. I think the additive nature of this to our institutional relationships will be highly positive, because we're going to be able to deliver a number of these products to them on top of our private equity strategies, private equity real estate infrastructure, private strategies, which are very large scale, and this will be able to go along with it.